So, obviously, everybody's talking today about the energy crisis. Yep. And earlier this morning, energy regulator Ofgem announced their new price cap, which will see a typical household pay over £3,500 a year for their gas and electricity.
Absolutely ridiculous. Experts have said that the rising costs will plunge over half of households in the UK into fuel poverty this winter. I can't believe that we're still having this conversation. Nothing's been done yet.
We're going to have a lot of conversations about this. Martin Lewis is there. Good morning, Martin.
Morning, Martin.
I'm sure you've...
I'm not quite sure I could call it a good morning, but yeah.
Well, no, it really isn't. First of all, can you just explain briefly to people what the price cap actually means?
Well, it isn't a cap on the amount that you pay for your energy bills. So what actually happens is there is a cap on the standing charge, which is a daily charge you pay for having gas and or electricity. And there is a cap on the unit rates you pay, so the amount that you use. Now, the number that's given, this typical usage figure that's rising from £1,971 to £3,549 for those on direct debit in England, Scotland and Wales. Northern Ireland is on a different system. Actually, that's just an illustration. That's not the most you can pay. You can pay £10,000, as some with disabilities who've got children who need electrical equipment will know. The rates can be far, far higher for some. That's just those on typical use. So the actual figure is for those who are on companies' standard tariffs, and that's where the price cap applies. You are going to be seeing an average rise of 80% compared to what you pay now. Now, it does vary by region and it does vary by your usage. And if it's OK to say, we have just put out a calculator that will estimate the actual rise people will see on the 1st of October. But I'm sorry to say, it's far worse than that. Look, we used to have the cap used to move every 6 months. And then Ofgem changed that. We put in a consultation objecting to that change, but it changed that to help companies' cash flow because it didn't want to see them going bust. So this October price cap will not last until April, as the system used to happen. It will only last until the 1st of January. Now, the price cap on the 1st of January, we are 7 months through the 10-month assessment period for deciding that. So we have a pretty good idea of what will happen then. And I hate saying this. I just genuinely don't want to be the person saying this, but I'm going to, because that's what I do.
We need to hear it, Martin. We need to hear it, because
so on the 1st of January, on the 1st of January, we're currently expecting to see the price cap rise by another 51% on top of the 80% that we have already seen.
Sorry?
51.
Which will take somebody on typical use to over £5,300 a year pro rata. Now, I mean, we're talking over half the new state pension, more than half the old state pension, even more of what a single person on universal credit gets. I mean, it is clearly unaffordable. And I need to be straight. It is irresponsible of our government to allow today's announcement to have come without firm plans in place for what they are going to do to help the most vulnerable, some of whom are at risk of dying, and to help many on lower and middle incomes whose lifestyles will be substantially curtailed by this energy rise. We have to hear soon, Liz Truss, Rishi Sunak, if you are watching, you should have done it before, but on the 5th of September, you need to tell us what help people are getting. I chair the Money and Mental Health Policy.
Martin, I just want to show...
The mental health impact of this is devastating.
Yeah, I just want to show people, you're mentioning there Truss and Sunak. Front page of the Daily Mail today, Liz Truss says, "I'll get you through the energy crisis." She said she pledges her immediate support to help with soaring power bills if she becomes Prime Minister, which is looking highly likely that she will. What can she do?
I totally understand that. Well, tell us exactly what she will do.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I mean, saying I'll give help, and listen, I pray she's going to deliver on that. And if she's listening, if she is Prime Minister, if I could do anything to help, get in touch. I would do whatever I can to help. I spoke to the former Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, before the May package, and 80 to 90% of what I suggested there would help. Look, what we have to be careful, there are lots of different mechanisms out there for helping people through this. You could freeze prices on the price cap. You could double or over double the help that was given in May. You could launch a new social tariff. I don't want to come up with a specific mechanism, because if I do, people then discuss the pros and cons of that. The most important thing here is we have the political will to help. Now, it looks like Liz Truss is saying she's got that. And if so, and if she delivers a package that stops people dying, starving and having their lives devastated on the 5th of September, just as I did in May, I will say it's a decent package and I will say, well done. But it should have been in place now. Do you know, on my show, there's a clip in March of me on my show in March saying the price cap in October will go over £3,000. This is shocking today, but it is not a surprise.
Martin, I've got to ask this. I'm just reading here. Apparently, a household is considered to be in fuel poverty if 10% or more of their income is going towards bills. Now, looking at what you're predicting for January and what it's looking like, anyone that earns anything less than £50,000 a year, which is a lot of people, is just in fuel poverty straight away. What can people do if they can't pay their bills?
There'll be so many who can't pay. What do you do? Do you call the companies? Do you say, this is the absolute maximum I can give you, I don't have anything else? What's going to happen?
Are they going to cut you off? What's happening?
You talk to the energy companies, you talk to Citizens Advice and National Energy Action, and you use their web help if you possibly can, because these places are absolutely swamped and drowning with desperate people right now, and it's only going to get worse, and we need more funding for our debt help and our crisis agencies. Yeah. But I need to be honest. I said this before when this rise was first coming in. For the vulnerable people and those on the lowest incomes, when we're talking about energy, I am out of tools, and the crisis agencies may well be out of help. You should always talk to them anyway. That's why I am pleading with a new Prime Minister. I mean, for those who earn £10,000 a year, you can't pay £5.5 grand energy.
But Martin, what happens? Can the energy companies cut you off? So you can, all the amount of, if you can get hold of them, as you said, they're absolutely snowed under. Can you do any kind of negotiating? If you can't and you cannot pay, can they legally cut you off?
It is very difficult for firms to cut you off if you can't pay, rather than if you won't pay. This is about can't paying. They may well move people to prepayment meters, which of course then means, and while there is some help for those on prepayment meters, you would then have to prepay for your energy. So if you don't have the money, you can't pay for it. But I need to be honest with you here, Ruth. Because of the monumental scale that we are talking, nobody really knows. I mean, the logistics to move people to prepayment meters in the scale that would be needed because of these price hikes is just not possible, I doubt.
But
the
Martin,
energy bosses don't know what's going on.
But
so,
Martin,
I mean, we are in a vortex of chaos and unpredictability here.
And I can see, I can see how worried you are. When Martin Lewis
This is what I'm saying, when you don't know.
I'm out of ideas. I mean, I don't know what to do here. People at home are saying, I'm cutting down on this, I'm cutting down on that, I've tightened my belt, we've done everything we can. We just don't have it. Then it has to be the government and the energy companies, surely.
There's nowhere to go.
Rylan was talking yesterday about the enormous profits that they make. I was reading here that the Isle of Man the government of Isle of Man have agreed to freeze electricity prices until 2023, but that's through a £26 million government loan to be repaid. Well, we're so in debt in this country, where do we go from here? The general public can't really do much more.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned profits, and it's probably worth just explaining to people. Ofgem regulates the retail energy firms, those who sell energy to us. And you will know over 20 of those have gone bust because they're losing money. The firms that make the profits and are making enormous profit right now are the oil and gas producers, which are not regulated by Ofgem. Now, some of them are the same firms. Centrica is making billions of pounds of profits because of its oil and gas production. But its retail arm, the one that's regulated, British Gas, its profits aren't that huge, which is why when it says it'll give 10% of British Gas's profits, that's not that much. 10% of Centrica's profits, now that would be a large amount. But it is government again, not the regulator, who has the tools to take money off the oil and gas producers. So the company you pay, some of those companies are actually struggling right now because if they're only retail arms, then they don't have the deep pockets that the vertically integrated firms that also sell oil and gas do.
We understand, obviously, Centrica, they're the umbrella group. They're the ones that run it all. And then you've got the retail arms, like you would have, say, LVMH own Benefit and this and Estee Lauder, like they all own their little groups. That's all fine. But why the government? I understand, you know, at the minute we've got a bit of a non-acting prime minister with what's going on. Hopefully,
we have a zombie government.
Exactly, we completely have. We completely have. But why are we not attacking that umbrella group? Why are we not sitting there and going, the government, saying, excuse me, you're earning all these profits and we've got pensioners basically left for dead in their homes because they can't afford to heat it? It's ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, look, there is a semi-windfall tax that they won't call a windfall tax. That is a windfall tax, you know, on non-invested profits that has been put through. But I mean, ultimately, look, this is a worldwide problem.
Agreed.
I think the UK has been slower to protect its population than other European countries, but this is not a UK problem. It is likely to get worse because Germany has lost its Russian gas supplies and is now trying to suck up as much gas as it possibly can to keep its population warm. You know, in Germany right now, there are already rules coming in about, you know, much as like we have the hose pipe ban here, they're moving to similar things in energy in Germany. And I think that, you know, in the extreme, that could well happen this winter here. I mean, it may not happen because government may not want to do it, but there are some questions about whether we can continue to supply enough energy coming this winter. I mean, at the extreme, I hope that is unlikely to happen.
Martin,
price rises are very likely.
Martin, sorry, we are running out of time. Just before we go, because we do have to move on, there will be people listening to you. And as I said, when you hear Martin Lewis saying, I'm out of ideas, I'm very worried, is there anything, any piece of advice that you can leave our viewers with, people at home who are watching this saying, I am really frightened now, I won't be able to pay that kind of bill? Any one lasting piece of advice for them?
Minimise your usage. I've got a guide called Heat the Human, Not the Home, ready for this winter, which I hated the fact that we had to produce, about ways you turn your central heating off and cheaper ways to heat yourself personally. Get in touch with your energy company, talk to them, although their phone lines will be swamped and it isn't the call handler's issue. Don't be rude to the people on the phone. Get in touch with Citizens Advice, National Energy Action, use the help that is out there and write to your Member of Parliament.
Well, Martin, let's just hope on the 5th you're back on the show and we've got a plan of action when we've got a new Prime Minister.
I know, but it's amazing we have to wait till
I think it's
September
disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
Martin, thank you so much.
Thanks, Martin.
We could talk about it all morning. Sorry, we need to move on, but thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, Martin. Take care.
I mean, yeah, seriously, when Martin Lewis goes...
Well, that's it. We're done. What can you do?
I mean,
sorry, guys. We want to try and bring you good news, but, like,
Yeah.
how can we when this is actually happening?
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem real. And
Maybe
now, every day, it's
those
worse.
last pieces of advice he gave about who should maybe contact, we'll try to put that on
the website
our
and the app.
website and the app as well.
Definitely.